What is going on, guys? It's almost Christmas, and I've been spending the last week or so finishing up my Christmas shopping, so I don't have a crazy huge haul to show today, but I have this horrible habit, let me know if you guys do as well, where whenever I'm shopping for others, I always wind up picking up something for myself as well. I'm just gonna roll some footage of my last week. First, we're stopping at my local comic shop, Queen City Bookstore, and on this day, I wasn't looking for anything. I was not on the hunt. I was actually just there to get a long box, and that was going to be it. But if you watch this channel enough, you know that's never the case. So I have a good relationship with the owner of Queen City Bookstore, so if I'm going in and he got something new, he normally gives me the first dibs to look at it, and on that day, he had 2 new short boxes that hadn't gone out yet. This Batman Dark Detective miniseries is something I never find complete, and they did have a complete run of all 6 issues, so I was able to snag that up. I will say, they've been getting some really good stuff in lately. I have been going to this shop for quite a while, and I've been noticing, particularly over the last several months, they've been getting some pretty awesome, pretty massive collections in. Since there were only 2 short boxes, it didn't take me a whole lot of time to go through this. And while I was at the shop, I actually picked up some new Comic Day books as well, so you'll see all of that at the end. Next on our little adventure, I actually made a stop at Target, and while I was there, I decided to check out what is left of the media section. Nothing really. But something Target is really good for is stuff like collectibles and toys. There were a handful of the McFarlane multiverse figures, not a whole lot. What really caught my attention was this collection of DC Sonic the Hedgehog toys. There were some sets of action figures that were pretty cool. I'm a big Shadow the Hedgehog fan and a big Batman fan, so really cool to see them do a little crossover where you get Shadow wearing Batman's costume. They even had these 2-packs of action figures, and I was definitely tempted by the Shadow Batman, but what got me was the plushie. And of course, Target has a million different Funko Pops. Save your money on these, wait for the clearance sale. Last stop is a bit of a quick one, but I always like to check my local Ollies and see if they've gotten in any new comic books. So there you have a few of the stops I've made over the last week, and now I'm going to talk about my Christmas gifts to myself. So some of these you may have seen in the video, some of them I did not film, because I was not really going into any of these trips expecting to film. I just kind of pulled out the camera when I found something worth showing. Up first, I have a stack of comics. These were all from that new collection I looked at. So this right here is a set that I never find complete. I always find this issue number 1 in dollar bins with the Joker, but I've never picked it up. I really like that cover, but I've never picked it up because I've been waiting to find a full set. And I'm happy to report that we finally did it. So that's something that's nice about getting the first dibs at some of these boxes, is it's always nice to find collections that aren't already picked over. So this is a 6-part set, and there you have another Joker cover, and that one's a pretty wild cover actually. Kind of crazy for a Batman book from 2005. So it's written by Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers, and Terry Austin doing the art. And yeah, it's just a really neat set of books, something I never see complete. Some of these books I don't think I've ever seen. Like, I think I would have remembered if I had seen this cover before. So I was happy about that. And I did get one more thing from those boxes, and it's The Witching Hour number 62. And that one's just another wild cover, something I had never seen before, but really sticks with you, man. Not quite a Christmassy cover, so kind of getting the seasons wrong, but there you go. These kids are just going to have a nice, lovely picnic. And yeah. Yeah, it's a very memorable one. Then we have some new Comic Day books, of course. I'm sure everyone picked up a copy of this, Absolute Batman number 15. I believe this is the first full appearance of Absolute Joker. I know he's shown up before, but Origin, first full appearance, and of course he's right there on the cover. This is the cover A by Nick Dragotta, and I did get a couple more covers. This has just been the hot book, and I'm not buying it because it's hot. I like the Joker. I like weird alternative takes of Batman and other Batman characters. This one is cover B by Jock. This one was probably my favorite of the variant covers. And then we got cover D by Brian Boland and Jock. So, very freaky. I haven't read it yet, so we'll see how I enjoy it, but this has been a very popular book. It hasn't really gone up in value, but people are buying up these like crazy. Will it last? Probably not, but I still picked it up because I just like Batman and I like the Joker. No FOMO here. I enjoy the Absolute universe. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm liking it so far. I haven't read it yet, so I don't have a developed opinion on Absolute Joker. I'm not necessarily sure if it's my Joker, but maybe reading the book will change my mind. And then something else really cool that I've been digging, DCKO. And last week we had 2 different fights. So, had Wonder Woman and Lobo. This one was probably my most anticipated. And I got a variant cover by Joelle Jones, who was actually the writer of the book. Cover A was done by Jorge Corona, who is doing the Lobo series with Scotty Young. I actually just saw Scotty Young dropped the cover for issue number 1. Looking really good. I'm excited, and I really enjoyed this fight. I did a video talking about this. I go heavy into spoilers, so if you have read it already and you're interested, check that out on my channel. And there was another fight that was Aquaman and Hawkman. It took place in Aquaman number 12, and I I got a variant cover because they were all out of cover A's. I'm guessing that they probably didn't order as much Aquaman as the Wonder Woman and Lobo, but still cool. So I also talked about this one in my video from the other day. I talked about this, Wonder Woman, and the Superman and Captain Atom fight from the week before. So that's everything from the comic shop. I got some new books, I got a long box, and all of this stuff was just thrown in for free along with that. So very awesome. Thank you so much to Queen City Bookstore, as always. After that, I made a stop at Target. So I haven't really shopped at Target since they stopped carrying physical media, but I was there buying a shirt for my husband. He likes the clothes there, and there was a sale going on, so picked something up for him. And I'm always drawn to the toy section, the collectible section, and I don't really do action figures much anymore. They always have some of the McFarlanes and some Funko Pops, and I like to look at that stuff, but I never pick any of it up. But something that I absolutely was not leaving without was this Shadow the Hedgehog meets Batman plushie. So I've always been a sucker for plushies. I have a bunch of Batman plush. I have a couple Shadows, so had to add this one to the collection. They also had the Sonic and Flash crossover, but you guys know me, I'm a Batgirl, and I love Shadow, but this is just so cute, and I'm so happy that they did this crossover. They put out a comic book, and the comic book was alright. It was pretty cute, but I'm just so happy with the merch that they dropped along with it. The action figures they had looked really cool. I was tempted by that Shadow and Batman 2-pack, but immediately forgot about it when I saw this guy, and only $10. This is something that 10-year-old me did not know I needed, but now I can't live without, so there you go. The last stop I made was at Ollie's, and I've gone there quite a bit lately. They didn't really have anything new this time, but there was one thing they didn't have before, and that was this right here. The Detective Comics Complete Covers Volume 1. Maybe you remember, like a month or so back, I went to Ollie's and found Volume 2. So this time I found Volume 1. And so this one is the Golden Age, and it's not just Batman Detective Comics, it goes even before that. So there you have Detective Comics number 1. And some of these covers from before Batman were just really cool, you know? Kind of a shame that these books are so rare and I'll never be able to own them, you know? But it's really nice to just have this little collection. And there you go. Issue number 27, first appearance of Batman. Issue 29, that's a classic cover right there. 31, another classic cover. And then this one actually goes a little bit into the Silver Age. So that just made me happy to be able to complete that little collection. I think these are so awesome and cute, and these would be great for a comic fan in your life as a stocking stuffer. So if you have an Ollie's in your area, definitely check them out. Go back on my channel and you can see the kind of stuff that I normally find at Ollie's. And yeah, that was it for my Christmas presents for myself. Who knows, maybe there will be a second part in a couple days. We'll see. So let me know what you thought of that. Thank you for watching, and if you do celebrate, have a very Merry Christmas.